Hi YouTube, welcome back to my channel. Today I am going to talk to you about my diagnosis of OCD or obsessive compulsive disorder, how I deal with it, and um, how it presents differently in different people. So I was diagnosed with obsessive compulsive disorder in 2011. I had sought treatment for postpartum depression, and I had just given birth to um, I'd given birth to my son in 2011 or 2010, and sought a series of treatments. And rather than just say, "Oh, you've got anxiety," my doctors looked at a series of issues. My anxiety would come about when there was an issue that I would focus on or obsess on. And instead of finding a way to solve the issue or realizing that I had no way to solve the issue and move on, I would compulsively harm myself. Compulsion is something that you can't always control, especially if you don't know what's happening. There are certain ways that I would do this, and I am going to, focus. There is a content warning. I am going to talk about self-harm, not in a gory, detailed manner, but like just, touch on ways that I've self-harmed. For a week, we were without water in our house, which is dangerous, first of all. But my husband at the time didn't have a job and refused to get at work, so the only income that was coming in was my income from making handcrafts and working online as a community moderator, which wasn't a lot of money. I personally made around $800 a month. Again, not a lot of money. And he wasn't seeking unemployment benefits and just basically, not doing a whole lot to help us out with our situation. We didn't have water, and the only way I could focus, the only thing that I could do to feel like I had a sense of control over the situation was brush my teeth. That sounds like a weird way to hurt yourself, right? Between that and like the constant deluge of like bad food that we were eating, sugary food, because that's what we could afford, I have no enamel on my teeth now. I harmed myself by obsessing and then compulsively brushing my teeth. You can probably see that my teeth aren't exactly like the whitest. They're not going to ever be. I do brush my teeth. A normal amount. I use mouthwash, all of it, but they are never going to be fancy white until the day comes when, because this is how it works, the dentin wears down and I need to get either dentures or implants, which will probably be dentures because they're cheaper and I'm broke. So another way that I used to do to compulse is I would find little spots on my arm that weren't like flush with the skin. And anybody that knows anything about skin, that's actually the normal way skin is. Skin has bumps, skin has imperfections. I would pick at them until they were gone, which created, a cut or basically a wound. Um, and different things about life that you can't handle right now are ways that I would compulse. And things that I didn't think were affecting me were actually affecting me greatly. And I don't understand why. I still don't. It's been 8 years. Still don't understand why. But I've gone from a place where if this was the situation, it would cause me to harm myself, to now I can just think about it, acknowledge that it's a thing, and move on. Like, and these are minor things, like if things aren't grouped in groups of 5. That is something that used to set me off greatly. I have no idea why. Again, a lot of things that have to do with mental health are not rational. So when they happen, you feel crazy, like even crazier. So when things aren't groups in group of 5, like before, I would harm myself in some manner. Whether it was like it would make my skin crawl, it would make me itch. So I'd scratch myself, and sometimes if it was bad enough, like, see, I'm like, that's that compulsion right there. It would make my skin crawl, it would make me want to itch. But I noticed that I was heading for it and took my hand away. Now, I acknowledge these things by saying, okay, if this particular set isn't in a group of 5, I'm still going to count them by 5s until it's calm. This is particularly prescient in some of the work that I do, which is handcrafts. I create, handcrafted items. Now, one of the things that I'm working on right now, it's perfect for that, and it comforts me because anybody that knows crochet, this is a corner to corner crochet. Like, I started here. I started like here in the corner, and then I worked my way down. The grid is in 5s, but 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And I can count those, and I can count on the grid where I'm at. I can't show you the grid because it's a copyrighted pattern, but the grid shows it off in groups of 5. And I cross it off, my pattern, as I've gone past it, in groups of 5. And I can count it, and that actually brings me some extra calm. Like, the act of crocheting, the act of knitting is calming. But if I can group those actions into a group of 5, that's like an extra bonus. Which, again, I can't, it's kind of like if things that are not in groups of 5 set me off, things that are in groups of 5 kind of bring me joy. If that makes sense. So, and sometimes it is, it is the little things. Now, you've never heard of OCD being like that. Isn't it like being like super neat freak, super clean? Not always. And I've only met 2 people with OCD in the entire time that I've known that I've had OCD that were super neat clean freaks, and that wasn't even part of their OCD. They just were clean freaks. Like with my son is autistic, and he hasn't been diagnosed, but he does have some OCD tendencies that next time we go for an evaluation I'll bring up. But he also likes to group things. Now, I will say that it is also an indicator of autism. is like organizing things rather than playing with them. But it doesn't hurt to bring it up, especially when I myself have it. My other thing is that is a part of my OCD. It's not that I want things neat and clean, because neat and clean places make me nervous for a completely other reason. And that mostly has to do with spending so much of my childhood in and out of hospitals, because I always equated like super clean places and super clean smelling places with hospitals, and hospitals with being sick. And sick means I might die. You know what I mean? And this is something that I've unpacked in therapy that I'm working on changing. But that's not to say that my house is a disaster area. I mean, sometimes it is. I've got 3 kids here, you know? And I'm sure that if my oldest still lived with me, yeah, it would be chaos, because kids are a mess with noise on top. Period. So, now the ways that I work on helping get myself through it, because first of all, I have to. I can't just sit here and be upset or be in a state of upset or compulse all the time, because I have 3 kids that I have to take care of. Now, this is something that will never go away. It's a lifelong disorder, and you're probably going to say, Jenny, you just said in the last video that you have PTSD. Many mental health conditions are comorbid. OCD is often comorbid with bipolar disorder or even autism. PTSD is comorbid with literally any mental illness that you can possibly have, because it's such a wide-ranging diagnosis. And we, as a society, our scientists get better at diagnosing things every single day. So yes, maybe my diagnosis could change in the future, but it's probably not going to be. The scars on my arm say that it's probably not going to be. The way that I have to constantly catch myself say that it's probably not going to be. And that's okay, because I and thousands of people just like myself, because OCD is actually pretty common. We all get through it in different ways. But the best ways to go through it is to go to a therapist, go to a psychiatrist, and get the diagnosis first. Your therapist, if they're not good with OCD, the best thing to do is to find someone who is, and get a good therapy plan in action. Because it takes work. It takes a lot of work. And any mental health treatment takes a lot of work. You know, it's not just overnight. You're not going to go to a therapist and just feel better the next day. You're going to probably feel terrible for like the first 10 visits. But it's worth it. Because once you get to that place where you're working through your problems, instead of having your problems affect your life negatively, that is like the reveal moment, right? So that's why, when people say, oh, therapy is a bunch of crap. Therapy is therapy. There is no therapy on the planet for any reason where you get better after one visit. It doesn't happen. I mean, you might feel slightly better. Your life isn't going to be changed after one visit. And anyone that claims otherwise is selling you something. So, that's just my story. I know it was kind of all over the place. I've been wanting to record this for like a week. And finally, my toddler decides to take a nap today. I'm so excited. But and now my camera's being itself again. So anyway, thank you for watching that. I know it was long, but thank you for taking a few minutes out of your day to watch my OCD story. I hope you're being kind to yourself. And if you can't, go be kind to someone else. I hope you have a great day. If you liked this, please hit like. If you didn't like it, there's no reason to hit dislike. Especially the person that hit dislike on my last one, although it probably was for the turkey meatloaf. I gotta be honest. You know, the commenter was probably right. But anyway, if you like this, hit thumbs up. If you want to, hit subscribe. I don't have a lot of videos. I don't have a lot of subscribers, but I do have some stories to share. So I hope you have a great day, and thanks for watching. Bye.